These shoes turn out to be really good. I ended up wearing them a lot. I think it's like the brand is On shoes. I'm gonna sign a bunch of these. Someone painted this. Me and Lynn. Good morning, Cholo Jesus. Good morning, Cholo Jesus. Heart Rock. Oh, shit. Everybody's calm. But I thought I'd just check in. Everybody's calm. Right, Buster? Booster. How you doing? You all right? Booster. Booster. I'm sorry, did I upset your nap? Buster. It's been a big morning over here, but we're through it. And, it's just the way life is. Right, Sam? Everybody can't be involved with everything, right? Did a lot of running around. Right? It's break time. Break time, Sam. Sammy. It was just a big morning because I got up and, did all the regular stuff. But there was a lot of running around. It's actually been kind of a busy couple days. Like I had Smigel over here a couple days ago. Used whatever options you have at your disposal to maintain your sanity without hurting yourself or others. I had Robert Smigel over here, the genius. And we had like a 2-hour conversation, but then he wanted me to do a bit on his new puppet show. He's doing a puppet show for Fox. So then yesterday, I interviewed the very intense and engaging Kristen Hirsch, who I love, who I haven't seen in like 35 years, from the Throwing Muses. She writes 2 other bands, 50 Foot Wave, Kristen Hirsch solo, Throwing Muses. Wrote her 3rd book, Intense. Heavy. She's quite a life. But I was sort of nervous about that. So we talked for like an hour and a half yesterday. And then Smigel came over here with a crew and the puppets. And we did a puppet thing. And then, because Kristen was staying around the corner with Fred, her bass player, they'd driven up from San Diego. I think they're kind of like about to embark on a sort of nomad land existence, the 2 of them. But I invited them both for dinner. So I made dinner last night for me and Kristen Hirsch and Fred and Kit. Slab of fish, quinoa, broccoli, and garlic. And I made, you guys have missed a lot, man. I made a fucking, I had made the soda bread, so I was inspired, and I made an Irish brown bread, which is great. But this is all that's left of it. We ate half at dinner. I gave a quarter to Kit. She took it home, and that's what I have left. And I had to make it twice. I had to make the bread twice. I fucked up the first one. I had to tweak the recipe, change the temperature, and it came out amazing. Right, Sammers? Right, Sammers? Sammers! Sammers! What do you say, Sammy? And Sammy ate some raw fish this morning. Right, Sam? Yeah. So, that's what happened. They brought over a bunch of fucking Trader Joe's. So I'm about to make a full-on Ashkenazi breakfast here for myself. Ashkenaz breakfast. Yeah, I'm brining some sable that I bought yesterday. And I cut off Sammy some little pieces, chomped them up. What does the Ashkenaz breakfast entail? I can show you. How can we do it though? Let's see. I'll show you right now, man. What are you doing, Sam? It's not cooking. It's all cooked. All right. Sam, get out. Sammy. Hey, Sammy. Come on. Sam. I don't even know what you're getting under there. Just don't, it's like, there's a lot of toys. You don't have to eat garbage and dust and things. Jesus Christ, man. All right. All right, so this is a sable. No, this isn't sable. This is sturgeon that I smoked a few days ago. So slice it up. Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sam enjoys the human food. Sorry, pal. And then take these roast beets that I made, put a few of those on there. This is definitely not for everybody. Maybe hit it. Or maybe hit both of them with a little lemon. Why not? Right? And then I've got some of that fancy salt for the beets. And then this shit, man. Gotta be careful with this. Horseradish. Woo! Oh man. On the beets. And then I pickled these onions a few days ago. What? Yeah. That's the deal. No, it's that mortar salt. What is that salt called? Yeah, I'm not going to do any cream cheese. I don't think, maybe I'll have, what's up, buddy? Maybe I'll have some, what's left of that Irish bread. What is that called? That cream cheese. Maldon. That Maldon salt. So, yeah, man. That's the deal right there. Right? Uh-oh. Here's an old toy that was laying around since back in the day. What's going on? You got a toy going? Sammy? Oh, yeah. This guy. This fucking guy. J-Law Music Man actually puts me J-Law Music Man puts me on his fucking profile as a credit. Larry Carlton guy on Marc Maron's live IG. That's like those people that do, like if you do a guest spot at an open mic night somewhere because you're in town, then anybody who's on that show, they're like, open for Marc Maron. No. Sammy, going crazy. Sammy, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Sammy? What are you eating? What's going on? Sam. Booster. Nothing, huh? Everybody's worn out? Booster! Buster! What are you, cranky? Are you sick? Are you just relaxing? You do the same early on? Not a fucking chance, dude. You got the wrong guy. I was never a fucking opportunistic, lying, truth-stretching cunt. Got the wrong guy, dude. Would never do that early on. I barely wanted to even, say I did anything. Ambition and opportunism, when that sort of leads the way, because you're not talented enough to do the business, like it's a very gross trait. But in the world we live in right now, it's all some people think they need, and they might be right. Did you miss the coffee making? Yeah, I made it a long time ago. I didn't do it here. Show business is a hard business to be in. It's stupid. But the truth of the matter is, everyone can think they're in show business now. But there is an element to it where it's like, business implies, making some money or being paid or whatever. But everybody's sort of like these delusional, narcissistic people, shameless, ambitious, and sometimes talented, but everyone believes it's sort of like, you just keep pushing and pushing. It doesn't matter how annoying you are. Just do whatever you got to do, man. Get in their face. That's all that matters. And then once you're there, once you're in someone's face, you're like, all right, I see you. Now what? I've got a TikTok thing. Okay. What else? Another TikTok thing. What else you got? I'm doing a TikTok right now. Okay. But I guess the weird thing is, like, I'm just a fucking old man. And it turns out that millennials in general don't give a fuck about movies. They don't give a fuck about television. They don't give a fuck about, shows. They kind of hang out with each other. They dick around with each other. They like video games. They like, YouTube stuff. But all the old modes of boomer important garbage, they don't give a shit. Yes, if somebody wants it bad enough, they go for it. But that doesn't mean they get it. And that doesn't seem to resonate with people. I've said it before, though. When you're self-employed, or you're pursuing a creative intention with, where you decide the context, you also decide when you're done, if you've failed, whether it's not working out, and is it time to move on. And oddly, most people keep going. They just keep going. But I mean, ever since the beginning, though, even when I started, I don't really know what the gens are. People get shots, and then, either they hit or miss. And either they hit for a minute or they miss, or, and it's like, it really becomes sort of about determination. Like, how many shots are you going to get? And if you've already fucked up one or two, even if it wasn't your fault, do you get another one? What is a shot? So I think a lot of that whole thing has gone away because people can make their own shots, I guess. Yeah, I know. I never really had a choice in my head. And I don't know how many people really are like that. I was never a functioning adult. Sammy, go into the big boy box. Do it. So it was like, I never thought about the future. I never, I just wanted to be a good I never thought about it. I never had a plan. Yeah, but you don't know how your shot's going to come, or if it's going to come, or how to recognize it. A lot of the old model is dead, but a lot of it's sort of still alive. I don't know, man. I'm old and I'm fucking over it. What's the question? I know I'm not old, but like, it's a weird thing, man. Did my podcast thing. Yeah, I know I'm not old. Yeah, I know I have figured out how to be an adult and how to be organized and how to manage my talent and whatever I want to do, but I still don't accept my process. I still don't feel like I'm doing it correctly. I still don't think I work hard enough or whatever. It's usually based on stand-up. And, you know, I always think that other people have a better sort of system than me, but lately it's just been like, I don't know, fuck it, man. Everything just sort of fades away. Some things are remembered. You leave whatever you leave. But lately it's been like, I've been just sort of, did all I could, man. Don't ask me to put like I don't know like YouTubers and you know these people. I don't really know them. I mean, sometimes like I hear about things. I don't know what everyone watches or how they watch it. Have you ever felt which way before? Don't try to push me into fucking playing records. I'm fucking eating. Would that be okay? Don't do anything that doesn't feel right to me. Or then I wouldn't. It's really not that funny. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right to me. Then I wouldn't have done anything. Ever. If you don't want to sit here and watch me talk and eat, just go somewhere else. Seriously. I don't give a fuck. Kristen Hirsch was intense, man. Wow. I remember, I saw the Throwing Muses. That's interesting how nothing felt right to me. I was so fucking uncomfortable, man, all the time. I really don't know. When I look back on it, when I was talking to Kristen Hirsch about starting out in Boston and doing those one-nighters, I don't know how I did it. I was driven to be a comic, and I didn't know how to do it or how anyone made money at it or whatever. I was driven by resentment, spite, but always uncomfortable, always sort of angry, always defensive, but like, really, I mean, I think if I really didn't do anything that didn't feel right to me, I don't know what I would do. I mean, most things, like what feels right. I mean, it's only now that I can even begin to trust my instincts about doing things. But I still think it comes down to doing the job, you know? I was talking to Richard Kind. And whoa. You saw me with Frank Santos in Middletown, Rhode Island? Really? Wow. Like in the late 80s? And you thought I was good? That's crazy. Frank Santos, the R-rated hypnotist. But I was talking to Bolo days. I don't know what that means. Bolo. I never wore a bolo tie. You always remember my stand-up. Well, I was pretty intense and kind of angry, but wow, that's like, wow. I just always had a lot of, it was my whole life, it was just my whole life. Walking around thinking, writing things down, getting up on stage. But I guess the point is that I never did it because I wanted love or because like I loved entertaining. I did it because like I had to like, say my piece, try to be funny, try to be like, write good, smart shit, just try to do myself. It was about, trying to own my space. Like a lot of people, it's just like, they just want love. They're just love sponges up there. But my nature is, if you love me, you're going to get a lot of pushback. And I don't play video games. But like Richard Kind was talking about, and this is the thing, a lot of people take improv classes or stand up just so they can be better at work or learn how to be around people. But what's gone now, What? What's up? Is that it took years, at least 5 or 6 years, to even figure out, to really get the juice together and the chops together to open, and then maybe, get a spot as an opener. Now it's like there doesn't seem to be any development time. People are just ready to go. Look, I can make a video of myself. I'm ready. Ready for what? What do you want to do? I don't know what the hell everybody does. It's like, all right, you got all those followers. What do? Now you're going to what? Hold up a shampoo? You're going to swing garbage for people that, see how to exploit your followers? I don't know. I guess that's sort of advertising, but I mean, is there something else to it? What age did I want to become a stand-up comedian? I was like 11. I always loved stand-ups. Yeah, fame for the sake of fame. I don't know. But there was a system in place then. There's no system now. Is it ever too old to start stand-up? I don't care. You can do stand-up whenever you want. Stand-up is just like, it's this weird thing that like, I'm going to try it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do whatever. In the old days, because I'm old, there was a system, man. You pounded it out. You got 10 minutes together. Maybe you could open. Maybe you could host a show. You got 20 to 30 minutes together. Maybe you get a feature spot, do a week as a feature. And then once you got, 45 to 50, you start out, try to get a couple headline spots, and you do the job. And then the TV side of it is you go and you pitch shows, or you try to get gigs if that's what your trip is. But there was a context. Now, there's no fucking context. Everyone thinks they're fucking special. Everyone thinks they're fucking talented. Everyone thinks they're entitled to recognition for whatever. And it's a fucking shit show, really. But it is sort of a lot of humanity to all of it. And I think that's why a new generation of people is more engaged with regular people, trying to do things, regular people who have, some version of, a pet trick or a little thing they've gotten really good at that they can do over and over again. When you're dealing with 30-second bites or 1-minute bites, or even YouTube influences, you just pick this one little thing, you find a little skill, and you're just a regular person who can, play guitar with their fucking tongue, or, put a string through their nose, or twerk, whatever the fuck it is. And then, all of a sudden 500 people, 1,000 people, 500,000 people are like, did you see that guy pull a lizard out of his ear? That was so funny. And that's show business now. Well, I think the originality of it is that people are unique. Everybody is unique. And if they can find a thing they do within that uniqueness, it's kind of nice and human. Does not mean that everybody is talented. You can learn things by repetition and figure out a trick, but can you put on a magic show? What's going on in here? I've never watched The Masked Singer. I don't even know what it is. I saw it coming. Oh, Sammy. Sammy's poking at the bear. You poking at the bear, Sam? Buster. Oh, boy. Do I think comedians are severely depressed? Why generalize? There's no... people are always like, comedians are dark, comedians are sad, comedians are depressed, comedians have drug problems. I would imagine that if you put us up against any other profession, that the numbers are probably the same. If there's probably more, I would imagine there's more alcoholic plumbers and, alcoholic, wire fitters. It's just, it's a myth. Are comedians depressed? No, I don't know. Some of them are. Are regular people depressed? Are people who work in middle management depressed? Are phone operators depressed? I mean, people put a lot of focus on comics because, you guys are supposed to be funny, man. That's a burden. It's a burden where, I don't really honor that much anymore. Occasionally I'm funny. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, Samster? You got that old thing? That's been around forever. It's just part of a myth. It's like, any sort of artist, poets, or... Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead. Okay, here we go. What are we doing? Buster's circling. Looks like we got a match, people. Do we have a match? Sammy, focus. Sammy! Booster! Sammy, sidestep. Do it, Crabber. What's going on here, man? All of a sudden, there's a lot of activity. I see Dean will have Byron Katie on Cactus. You've spoken about seeking therapy and you seem well read. Do you think her new age approach is legitimate? I don't know anything about that woman. And anything's as legitimate as anything else. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay. Yeah, they're definitely friends. No rim jobs. Buster, what are you doing? You can play with him. Sammy, the old man wants to play and you're choosing wires. Why are you choosing wires? Get away from the wires. 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 Stop it. Get away from the wires. No wires. What anyone's approach, it's like philosophy, psychology, theology, a lot of those things. It's all sort of speculative. It's all based on sort of repetition, some mythology, some observational science, some cognitive science. But it's like New Age, this or that. Who gives a shit? I mean, it's like, if you got to figure out a way to live your life, or track down your problems, EMDR, whatever. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's a tremendous amount of science to that. And if you need crystals and candles and sage burning and chanting, and whatever the fuck it is, whatever you fucking need. It's all the same shit. It all fills the same gaps. It's all trying to understand the same stupid shit, which is like, how do we deal with the fact that we know we're going to die? And, that's a lot of pressure. And how do we deal with the fact that, we got fucked up as kids one way or the other, and there's a spectrum of that, from, whatever, emotional neglect, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, bullying, being, the person with one ear, whatever the fuck it is. It's like, how do I move through my life with a certain amount of peace of mind and contentment, so it feels like it's worth living. So however you fucking do that, fine. But, it just seems like you don't want to go down a path of like, cult worship, hero worship, religiosity that requires either money or complete self-sacrifice. I mean, right? There's a lot of fucking things. But it's like, do what you want. But then you also have to worry about like, okay, so if you follow this person that, wants you to wear, a crown of pine at home while you sit, and breathe in smoke from, incense, how you going to talk about that with your friends? And then it's the question of, well, maybe you need new friends, right? You need to hang out with the people that wear the crown of pine and, sit over smoking incense and, ramble on about this or that. So then you got to decide, is that what you want? Okay, so this is the new age trip I'm doing. Can I talk about it in public? Can I talk about it to my friends? Is it something people are going to laugh at me about? Is it worth that? Do I believe in it that deeply? Is it helping me that much that I'm willing to lose, what I call my fucking context of life? I don't know. So to answer your question, yeah, I've done therapy, and I generally think that it's helpful if you know where you want to go or what you're trying to resolve or what's working out. If you feel like you have things that are buried that have like, been kind of this weird darkness dispenser at the fucking core of your brain because somebody took something from you when you didn't know that it was being taken, and you were too young to acknowledge what was happening, and you have to find that, go find it. If you have certain behaviors that are problematic, figure out why you do that, and if you can stop them cognitively. I mean, after all is said and done, it seems to me that most of the time the cognitive approach is really the most helpful. Doc, it hurts when I do this. All right, well, don't do that. I don't know if this is a rant. But so to answer that question, I'm not really a new age guy, but I'll take vitamins occasionally. I don't mind the smell of incense. I have a few rocks around that mean things, kind of. I don't rely on them. I think it's kind of fun. I don't mind hippie shit, but when it comes right down to it, the stuff that has helped me is the context of sobriety and learning how to behave properly as a human being. In a somewhat less selfish way, and therapy around things that have destroyed my spirit when I was younger, and then moving through grief. The EMDR seems to work, but I can't know for sure. But it did. The process of it did something. So a life of crystals and sage burning and sort of like active, open-hearted joy directed at some idea of a God sense, this sort of new age tradition of avoiding a deity, but just kind of like engaging a lot of them. It doesn't really matter. It's a frequency and it has a lot of faces and whatever. Okay. But it's, all this fucking rambling about, authenticity. It seemed to be the sort of new buzzword, like authenticity. It sort of happened alongside of like, people making, boots and beard oils. Authenticity seemed to move along right aside people who were like going into the past through the using pants and certain types of hats as a vessel. Look, man, I'm wearing these Japanese work pants. What does that even mean? But the real word, I think, is the idea of vulnerability is a tricky thing, and then you have to sort of decide, like, is that worth it? Do I open my heart? Do I move through life with an open heart? How do I, not get hurt that way? And, and what is that hurt? Is that hurt just a trigger from an old hurt because I'm afraid because of how I was judged or how I was made to feel when I was younger? Or is it a real current hurt? Is vulnerability the real path to joy and self-acceptance? Or is it just this fucking liability that makes me uncomfortable? Is my art just sort of some way to deal with sadness and trauma and get this and avoidance? Like, man, I talked to, you thought I like fancy jeans? Yeah, I do have fancy jeans, but I mean, I guess I do. I definitely bought some fancy jeans. I like them. They're heavy duty, but I don't think that I don't think I'm living a certain lifestyle. But then even, how do you know that? Like, why did I start collecting records again? It seems like a lot of guys my age are collecting records. It seemed like I thought I was at the cutting edge of, like, back in the day of having nice boots. I just like shit that, doesn't, turn to garbage too quickly. But, you don't know how this stuff sets, kind of gets into your brain and why you start to do that. But at the core of it all, you got to sit there with it and go, like, one day you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I got too many boots. I don't even wear those anymore. That was stupid to buy those. These pants are dumb. Why do I have so many records? It's not going to matter in the end. And then you start to realize, like, do I need beard oil? Who fucking needs beard oil? This is stupid. And then, like, how many glasses frames do I really need? And then you start to realize, like, none of that stuff is going to matter. And you just kind of move through costumes. And, when you get to a certain age, you don't want to look, you'd like to look your age, but you don't want to look like you've given up. So you don't want to wear, the give up outfit. You like, I'm done wear, like, not just comfortable. I don't, cargo pants are nice because I can put my thing in this one, in this pocket for the phone. And then if I need to carry some Kleenexes, and the sandals are comfortable, so, like, you want to get to that point. But you do need to have that moment where you're like, none of this shit matters. Who am I really? And, either you know the answer to that or you don't. And some people define, themselves based on their ability to hurt other people or to defend themselves, or by guns, or by fighting, or by, roids. On some level, I'd much rather be the guy, with too many records than the guy, wearing the superhero outfit, biking up a mountain at 60, where it's just like, when you see those people, like, I'd rather be the guy where, if someone, sees me or talks to me, it's just like, where'd you get that? What do you got that's new? What's been interesting to you? What, have you got any new books? You got any new records? Have you seen anything that you enjoy? Are you doing new things? Are you thinking about new things? Are you moving through new things? Or do you want to be the guy that's like, 60 years old with no body fat and a six pack? And people, what do you say to that guy? Like, wow, so you pretty much work out all the time? Yeah? How many reps do you do of this? That's interesting. You look like a human knot, which is good for your age, right? All right, you guys. Value is interesting. But then again, look, man, I'm obviously fucked up. I'm a 57-year-old childless man, who has come to meditation late in life so I could try to find a little peace of mind. And I'm trying to decide, now that I've had a year off, like everybody else in some ways, just, not off. I've been working, obviously, but a year off, the thing that drove me throughout my entire life. And I've lost somebody who I loved a lot, and I'm grieving, I'm grieving possibilities. I'm not even grieving a history. We weren't allowed to happen. And now I've got this dumb kitten. But I guess the point is like, I would like some peace of mind. I don't know about happiness, and I don't really know what I'm going to do creatively right now. And I'm thinking about stuff. But I do think I know who I am. Yeah, I have enormous freedom because, I sacrificed, almost everything that other people strive for in order to feel secure. And it worked out. Hi, buddy. What do I really want? Well, I think I would just like to be, hi, buddy. Comfortable with my accomplishments and comfortable with myself. And I'd like to, figure out what I enjoy that isn't some sort of like, I'd like to find out what I enjoy that isn't like compulsive. And then I'd like to know what's the point of life. Okay? So let's get back to that New Age thing. What should I do? No, I'm not upset about the kids, man. One thing I realized, no matter how much I like them, which they're fine, I'm not the guy for kids. And some people are like, yeah, that's what everyone says. I'm like, I'm not the guy for kids. I'm emotionally not correct. And I don't know if I want to put, I don't regret not having kids. I don't really think about happiness that much. When it happens, I'm sort of like, oh, this is good. I definitely don't feel like a kid. Hi, buddy. What's up? What are we doing? It's got nothing to do with me, right? It's the string. Oh, stay away from the cock. You're amazed at Shep Gordon having a kid at 75? Is that a diplomatic word? I know a lot of people that have kids that old. What about that kid? Let me tell you about your father. He died when you were 4, but he was a great guy. Here, I'll show you some video. What are we doing? What's going on? Booster. All right. I'm going to, I'll play a song. I gotta pee, but we can, you wanna do it upstairs or downstairs? I don't know how much Buster weighs. He's a big boy. Fucking panther. P10. P10. Ooh, okay. I gotta turn this shit on. Oh my god. What's your acoustic guitar? I got like a couple acoustics. It's a J45 right here. I don't even know if... We tried to hook up those switches down here. Oh my god. Hang out if you want. I gotta pee. And when you're gone, the hours pass so slow. And now I'm still feeling blue. Yeah. And baby, since you walked out of my life, I've never felt so low. Wonder why you had to go. There are many girls, but I can't say they come and go, but still I feel this way. And ever since the day you said goodbye, no one treats me like you used to do. I hope you're out and happy now, doing up the town, don't you know how. Every time I hear your name, I wanna die. And now I'm still feeling blue. Alright. Graham Parsons. What's happening? What time is it? I don't gotta do anything. I gotta take Sammy to the vet after lunch. That was a fast pee? I don't think it was. All right, one more. Marc, International Submarine Band? I don't play them. Another rich kid who wanted to get into the rock and roll scene and was able to do it. Why do people judge people for being rich? I mean, the guy obviously brought something to the table. I mean, having money doesn't mean that you get access to country music. You know what I mean? It's like he come from the family he came from. It doesn't preclude the fact that he might have been talented. I don't know why people have to add that. It's kind of gross. There's been a number of very fucking rich people that have done, very amazing things. Probably not in making their family very happy either. 03. It's only a problem if they want to be from the street. Yeah, I know, but it's like everyone makes up a goddamn personality. I mean, especially musicians. You don't know who those people are. Whatever. It's all a goddamn clown show. But some people, do something. But it's some indictment of people. It's like, fuck that guy. He grew up with money. It's like, all All right. Is the shit good? Doesn't matter, man. All right. A lot of rich people end up on the streets, too. They still become fucked up, drug-addicted messes. That's always a great story, right? He came from a rich family, and now look. He's sucking dick for money. Yeah, wealth inequality is real, but that's not what we're talking about. Oh, yes. That's the toy. It's the OCs. Yeah, Dwyer's good, dude. He's an intense dude. All right, Sam. Good times. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go do some shit. Good times. Okay, Sam. Okay, Sam. Okay, Sam. All right. Enough with the plastic. Okay? Sam. 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 I feel like I'm going to block some people. Here. Come here, buddy. Say goodbye, Sammy. Sammy! Sammy! What happened here? Too close? Oh, now you're going to play with the thing? I'm just taking him to the vet for a booster shot and no look in his ear. He keeps shaking his head. Buddha face.